Alright guys, so we're going to do an analysis and a review of Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show. That's what we're going to do. Okay, now look, full disclosure. I've seen the video. I've watched people react to it. I've watched people do in-depth breakdowns of it. So a lot of the points I'm going to make, probably aren't coming from me. They're coming from other people that I've watched. And so, all the people that I've watched that I think made great points and helped to steer, this analysis in a more accurate direction, I will be putting the links to those videos in the description. Okay, so you guys can go watch those and see what kind of helped, get me to a place of understanding, right? Because when I first, watched Alicia do a reaction to this, I'll put a link to her video in the description. Absolutely love her. Okay, she's got two channels, Alicia X Death and Alicia X Life. Those are her channels. Okay, she's got such a huge personality, okay, and she's so charming and so funny. I absolutely love watching her videos, okay, especially when she's covering kitchen nightmares and stuff like that. But I absolutely loved watching her reaction to this. That was actually the first time I heard it, right, was when I watched her react to it. So there was so much more context to this than I ever thought was going to be there, right? But you got to remember, when I was watching her do the reaction, most of the screen was covered, so I couldn't really see what was going on. But man, I was blown away by Kendrick's explosive vocals, right? And I just knew there was something about it, okay? Because I heard a few lines in there that made me start to question and think what's he talking about here? This is important, especially when I heard him bring up 40 Acres and a Mule. Then I thought, oh, this is something important, right? And so, as you can see, look what I got on. I got on a PlayStation shirt, right? Why do I do that? Because we are playing a game right now. That's exactly what it is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and explain briefly, right, what the context is before we get into the actual video. Okay, it's real simple. The concept of playing a game, the system has put all of us in a game, and we have to play the game in order to win. It's that simple. And being that we're not really in control of any of the rules, as soon as we start to get ahead, the system can change the rules and make things harder. All right. So, yeah, we're in a game and we're all trying to survive. It's that simple. Okay. And I did a smaller kind of review already, right? And that'll probably come out first. But that's going to be on the research channel, right? But look, essentially, a lot of people are bringing race into this, right? That it's hating on white people and whatever else. Man, that right there is attributing race into this by a fallacy. This had nothing to do with race. And that was the whole point of Samuel L. Jackson playing that role. The point was that race has nothing to do with it. Anyone can buy into these racist stereotypes and talking points and statistics and end up being Samuel L. Jackson's character, right? Which is to say, if you do this and you do this and you act right and you stay calm and you don't behave a certain way, right? Then society will accept you. But you have to basically act white. Like, that's what Samuel Jackson's character was saying to Kendrick Lamar right there. You gotta act more white, and people will accept you.
His pants hanging off your ass, you ain't got no home training. Put your fucking pants up, nigga. Put that suit back on, take that do-rag off, take that goat out your mouth, quit the pitiful stuff, and then maybe police and stop killing you fucks. So what the fuck?
That's crazy to me, right? It really is. And what Kendrick Lamar is pointing out is that mentality is the racist part, okay? And I think he's also pointing out the fact that a lot of people who think and behave that way aren't necessarily doing it because they're racist. They're doing it because they believe that those things are true. They take those things as fact, and that alters their perception, okay? And that's what Kendrick Lamar's pointing out. He's pointing out the fallacies and the problems in society. That's it. And everyone's attributing race to that? Like, come on, man. Let's go ahead and check this out, y'all. Man, I'm so hyped for this. You know, I've watched other people like react to it and kind of things like that, but I haven't like sat down and like analyzed it closely myself, right? So that's what we're going to do now. And we're going to see maybe some things other people said ain't going to line up, you know, with what I'm getting ready to view right now and give my own interpretation of it. But that's what we're going to find out. Let's go check this out, y'all.
The National Football League welcomes you to the Apple Music Super Bowl.
That is a big button. Time to play the game.
Salutations! It's your Uncle Sam, and this is the...
So, I want to go ahead and point out something else that I thought of earlier, right? I love the fact that it is Samuel L. Jackson playing this character, right? Because it's Uncle Sam and it's Samuel, right? So I absolutely love that.
Salutations! It's your Uncle Sam, and this is the great American game.
The American game that we all play because we're in America. I love it.
The energy only circulate through us. Everybody must be judged. But this time, God only favoring us. 20 years in, still got that pen dedicated to bare hard truth.
Everyone must be judged, I think is what he said. Now, look, a lot of people criticize this because, oh, I can't understand what he's saying, and it's not good because of that. Look, I do understand to a point because it's rap, and he goes fast, and it's hard to, like, catch everything, right? But if you really care about what he's talking about, and he's going fast and you can't understand it, pull up the lyrics. Take a look through the lyrics, and if there's stuff in there that you don't agree with, then you can target those, but on a more intellectual level, instead of just saying, he's going too fast, I can't understand him. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn the captions on, okay?
American game.
My Gemini twin back powering up. No more handshakes and hugs. The energy only circulate through us. Everybody must be judged. But this time, God only favoring us. 20.
Everyone must be judged. But this time, God only favoring us. 20 years in, still got that P dedicated to be hard. Okay, I'm really not sure what he's talking about yet. Let's just keep going.
truth. Etiquette speak with a vigilant tongue. Predicate this time is I'm carrying heavier hearts right now. I got power lift with Olympians too. Carrying various darts right now. I deserve this like tiramisu. We go body for body. I hand you a body. I'm probably a better masseuse. Really don't bother nobody, but they running by me if I got to clear out the room. You would not get the picture if I had to sit you for hours in front of the Louvre. When I have a soul, even if I told you to stand next to Johnny and Q. Starting with nothing but government cheese, but now I can.
He said Johnny and Q. Is he talking about John Q? Is this like just part of the performance here, or is this an actual song I can go and look up the lyrics to? That's what I want to know. All right, because I think he's talking about some real important stuff right now. Nothing but government cheese. So he's talking about poverty. He's talking about, having to rely on government assistance, and not being able to get ahead, right? And man, just to let y'all know, okay, this is not like what he's talking about right now, the government cheese and, the food stamps and all of this stuff. This is not a problem with just one race, okay? A lot of white people are on those programs too. Just so y'all know, all right? All right, guys. So I went ahead and did a little bit of research, okay? And so I went ahead and went to ChatGPT and I got some lyrics pulled up for this first song that he's doing, okay? And of course it's not going to be perfect, but it should be good enough to at least start to understand like what he's talking about, okay? Because there's some real important things like already that I'm picking up on. Only one thing matter right now is living right now. You can't spare no feelings. Quiet on set. But my aura loud. I navigate through hood stuff and wisdom. The money all here. Young man, forget holding your hand. You'll die broke trying to play victim. So, I think that is a real important message that he's sending out there. Okay? And I want you to really start to think and process what he's saying. Okay? So, what he's saying is, even if, you're going through life and you're struggling and you're having a lot of problems and everything else, just holding on to that victim mentality, it's going to get you anywhere. It's like you got to keep fighting. Don't give up and just say, I have no chance, right? That's what he's saying here. The little ideas I told made people go rogue until God did me a big one. Reincarnated with love, my Gemini twin back. Powering up. No more handshakes and hugs. The energy only circulate through us. Everybody must be judged. So I want to focus on that last part, and then we're going to start to work our way backwards a little bit. Okay, everybody must be judged. So I think what he's saying is, we are all going to face judgment someday, okay? And what we do in the meantime is going to have a huge impact, okay, when that time comes. So I think what he's speaking for is accountability, right? He's saying you better make good decisions now, because if not, when it comes to your judgment day, right, it's going to make a huge impact, and you're going to have to answer for all the stuff you done. The little ideas I told made people go rogue. Yeah, so I think what he's getting at is maybe at one point in time, he didn't really talk about important issues like this. It was all just surface level, right? Maybe it was party songs and this and that. I don't know. I'm not well versed in Kendrick's music. That's about to change though, right? That's why we're here. Okay. This is going to be a Kendrick Lamar week. The whole week, nothing but K-Dot. That's what we're doing. I've heard before why K-Dot is a nickname that he goes by sometimes. I want to go into that more because I always forget. Okay. But look, the little ideas I told made people go rogue. So it made people, like, turn away from God, it looks like. What he's saying here. They went rogue. Until God did me a big one. Reincarnated with love. So, Kendrick, like, turned a corner from God. God spoke to Kendrick. And Kendrick basically was born again. Like, that's what he's saying. He was reincarnated. He was invigorated. He was reborn with love. My Gemini twin back. I don't know. Oh, hold on. I'm still trying to, like, piece this all together. My Gemini twin back powering up. So, because this is a game, right? This is a game. I don't know what the Gemini twin back is a reference to, but I'm sure it's like part of a game somewhere. Gemini twin back. I don't know the reference to that, but the powering up, I think that's because we're in a game right now. Okay, so he's powering up. No more handshakes and hugs. The energy only circulate through us. So I think he's saying we got to stop playing nice with people who continue the cycle of hate. I think that's what he's talking about. All right. But this time, God only favoring us. 20 years in, still got that pen dedicated to bare hard truth. The etiquette speak with a vigilant tongue. The predicate this time is F-U. I'm carrying heavier hearts right now. I can power lift with Olympians too. I'm carrying various darts right now. I desert this like... Okay, I don't know what that word is right there. Okay, I'm not going to know everything, y'all. Now, y'all can see it on the screen. So if there's something here I miss, y'all can, like, put in the comments and, like, help me out. Okay, this is a group effort, hopefully, is what we're going to be doing here. See, we go in body for body. I hand you a body. I'm probably a better masseuse. Now, the masseuse is like a professional, like, massager, I think. I really don't bother nobody. But they run it by me if I got to clear out the room. You would not get the picture if I had to sit you for hours in front of okay. I don't know what that word is either. There's going to be a lot of stuff I'm not going to get. Now, I did notice the reference to John Q in here. Okay, I'm pretty sure, but we're going to get to that in a second because I see it coming up. All right, but look. You would not have a soul even if I told you to stand next to Johnny and Q. Started with nothing but government cheese, but now I can seize the government too. Remember, the food stamp color was tan and brown. You would not have a soul even if I told you to stand next to Johnny and Q. Oh, I think I see what he's getting at now with this John Q line. There's probably a flip. I'm pretty sure that's like a double. There's something else to do with someone named Johnny, and then there's a flip there somewhere. I don't know that part, but I do know the reference to John Q. So when he says you would not have a soul, even if you stood next to John Q. I think what he's getting at is you still wouldn't have any empathy. You still wouldn't have, the thing that makes everyone human, right? Your soul is what gives you a sense of morality, okay? And so you still wouldn't have a soul. You still wouldn't care if you stood next to John Q, knowing the struggles that he's going through and seeing that what he has, done in order to try and resolve that problem. He's taken a hospital, at gunpoint, right? And he's saying you still wouldn't have a soul. You still would just see the overt act, right? You wouldn't see the underlying cause of what provoked him to do that, right? And I think that's what Kendrick Lamar's pointing out here, right? It's like the underlying cause does matter. If those problems aren't fixed, then everyone coming along, they're going to do what? They're going to follow along in their footsteps. They're going to follow in the same trap and do the same exact thing. Remember I said, I'm the greatest, back when you debated the number 1 and number 2. Okay? Topic was hilarious to me. You carried him to me. I brung out the Christ. Yeah, so this is really interesting, okay? And I had no idea, like, he was bringing in religious themes to this too, right? He's talking about God, he's talking about Christ. This is, I think a lot more people should do, videos like this and actually try to understand the artistry, okay?
Government too. Remember the fools, them color was 10 and brown, but now the 100 is blue. Remember I said I'm the greatest back when you debated the number 1 and number 2. Topic was always hilarious to me. You carried them to me, I brought out the first. The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
Someone better squabble up.
Reincarnated, I was stargazing. Life goes on, honey, and her my babies.
Yeah. Woke up looking for the broccoli. Hot key, keep a horn on me that could my see. IP, ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet.
Reincarnated, I was stargazing. Life goes on, honey, and her my babies.
Yeah. Woke up looking for the broccoli. Hot key, keep a horn on me that could my see. IP, ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet.
Woke up looking for the broccoli. High key, keep a horn on me that Kamasi. IP ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet. So I'm pretty sure broccoli is green. So he's talking about the green. He's talking about the money. He woke up looking for the money. So he's trying to, like, hustle. He's trying to get to the money, right? High key. So he's saying opposite of low key, right? He ain't trying to hide it that he's after the money. He's wanting to become successful, right? And he's not being quiet about it. So high key. Keep a horn on me. That Kamasi. So I think that might be like a motorcycle, but I'm not for sure about that one. IP ownership. The blueprint is by me. So everything he's doing, like, he owns it. He's not like stealing other people's like work. He's not like copying off of somebody. He made the blueprint. Okay, that's what he's talking about here.
rocking it. We a pro quo, what you want, cause I'm watching it. Work on the flow, let me know if you clocking it. Brody won't go, but I know that he popping it.
So I've just, been looking through these lyrics, okay, in this section right here, like, I have no idea what he's talking about, alright? So I'm gonna need a lot of help, throughout this entire performance, okay?
It was worth tickets on sale till I silenced it. Pipe down young, these some whole other politics. That's a what in them, that's a lot of what. Don't hit him, he got. Dunk, baby, rocking it. We a pro quo, what you want, cause I'm watching it. Work on the flow, let me know if you clocking it. Brody won't go, but I know that he popping it. It was worth tickets on sale till I silenced it. Pipe down young, these some whole other politics. That's a what in them, that's a lot of what. Don't hit him, he got kids with him, my apologies. Ghetto child, it was Blackie Mouse with the smeared off. We outside, water about to kill him off. Flaps, fat. Brick or raw. Tell me why you boys rap if it's fiction. No. Tell me why you boys fed if it's killing. No. Hey, Doc, can I get a drop? No. Hey.
So I think for his performance, like, he's changed a lot of the words in here. So, like, I could see some of it lining up, but a lot of it seems like it isn't. Okay, or it might be just like, switched up and out of place because this is a live performance. Okay, so he's probably like changed a lot of the, lyrics and stuff like that. So although this isn't going to be helpful for like everything, but it will be enough, to help fill in the blanks on some of it. Okay.
Rocking it. We a pro quo, what you want, cause I'm watching it. Work on the flow, let me know if you clocking it. Brody won't go, but I know that he popping it. It was worth tickets on sale till I silenced it. Pipe down young, these some whole other politics. That's a what in them, that's a lot of what. Don't hit.
I've been going through and just looking at the lyric video for this song, okay? And I'm starting to like get a little bit of an idea about what's going on in this particular song, okay? Ghetto Child, it was Black and Mild with the Smirnoff. Yeehaw, we outside. Woody about to kill him off. Blaps on blaps, it's a fact. This a brick of raw. Tell me why you rap if it's fictional. So here's what I'm getting from this. Okay. What he's saying here is when he raps, he's talking about real life. He's talking about the actual struggle that he went through and that a lot of people are still going through. He's speaking, facts in his music. Why you rap if it's fictional, right?
The politics. That's a what in them, that's a lot of what. Don't hit him, he got kids with him, my apologies. Ghetto child, it was Blackie Mouse with the smeared off. We outside, water about to kill him off. Flaps, fat, brick or raw. Tell me why you boys rap if it's fiction. No. Tell me why you boys fed if it's killing. No. Hey, Doc, can I get a drop?
Tell me why you boys if it's criminal.
Water about to kill him off. Flaps, fat, brick or raw. Tell me why you boys rap if it's fiction. No. Tell me why you boys fed if it's killing. No. Hey, Doc, can I get a drop? No. H boom boom from the west side to Senegal. Full moon, let the wolves out. I've been a dog. Squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up. What? Squabble up, squabble up, squabble up. What? Squabble up, squabble up, squabble up.
No.
So there's a lot of stuff, in these lyrics that I'm not gonna understand. There's a lot of references to it, okay? And, we also have to remember that I'm not that great at breaking down rap lyrics. because number one, they're so complex. There's so many different layers to them, right? Sometimes I can get it, like if I understand at least what the references are, okay, and what some of the doubles might be, and that kind of thing. Overall, though, like I'm not that great. So now that I have like at least went through the lyrics on this one and understood at least like a few parts of it, right? Which is it's a different kind of politics is what he's saying here, right? And the reason why he's bringing politics into it is because it is driven by facts, okay? It is driven by history and that kind of thing, right? This isn't just some random debate or random like political speech. Like I think that's what he's getting at. This is a different kind of politics. This is politics that, you know, isn't really political, but some people might politicize. I think that's kind of what he's getting at with that.
Rockin' it, queer pro quo, what you want, cause I'm watching it. Work on the flow, let me know if you clocking it. Brody won't go, but I know that he popping it. It was wolf tickets on sale till I silenced it. Pipe down young, we some whole other politics. That's a what in him, that's a lot of what. Don't hit him, he got kids with him, my apologies. Ghetto child, it was Blackie Mouse with the smeared off. We outside, water about to kill him.
That part about don't hit him, he's got kids with him. My apologies. I think that's a metaphor, right? That sometimes, you know, it's better to like just leave certain people alone because it's like not the right time for it, you know, to bring all this up, right? I think that might be where he's going with that. So I think that was like an analogy. It is what I'm thinking. Okay.
Flaps, fact, bricker raw. Tell me why you boys rap if it's fiction. No, tell me why you boys fed if it's criminal. No, hey Doc, can I get a drop? No, H boom boom from the west.
I think he's saying why you boys fed if it's criminal. Hold on. Let me try and run that back real quick.
Flaps, fact, bricker raw. Tell me why you boys rap if it's fiction. No, tell me why you boys fed if it's criminal. No, hey Doc, can I get a drop? No, H.
I could be wrong, but I think with this, like, he's bringing up crimes of desperation. It's what he's talking about here.
Boom, boom from the west side to Senegal. Full moon, let the wolves out. I've been a dog. Squabble up, 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 squabble up.
So squabble up, I think, is like get ready to fight if necessary. Okay, when the time is right, you know, then it's time to squabble up. I think that's what he's getting at with this.
Squabble up, squabble up, squabble up.
No, 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 no! Too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten up!
Do you really know how to play the game? I love that line right there, y'all. Right? So what is going on here is Samuel L. Jackson is playing the role of anyone who has bought into racist stereotypes, statistics, and talking points, right? And let's go ahead and address something else, because a lot of people attributes race to this, right? And I think because he got Samuel L. Jackson, a black man, to play this role, takes race out of the equation completely. Anyone can fall into that trap and perpetuate racism, not because they're racist, but because they've bought into racist talking points and they think that they're true. Okay? That's the role that Samuel Jackson's playing here, right? And the commentator that I did a review on, like she pointed out, he's playing the role of America. A lot of people in America holds these views, right? And a lot of black people hold these views, and a lot of white people, and a lot of other people also hold these views. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're racist, but it means they've listened to probably a lot of racist people, or again, a lot of people who believe these things to be true, and that's why they're perpetuating it, and they don't realize that what they're selling is racism. And a lot of people buy into it, not because they're racist, but because they're, gullible. That's what I would say. You're gullible. Like, if you just hear someone babbling off a whole bunch of nonsense, and you just start picking it up and believing it and taking it at face value and not doing your own research, this is where you might land. As somewhere where you look at entire groups of people and start judging them based on their race. Okay? Guess what? That's racism. Plain and simple. If you're black and you look at white people like they're the problem, like you don't want nothing to do with them, guess what? That's racism. Okay? And I don't get it twisted. I understand if they feel that way. I would disagree with it. And I would say, there's going to be some white people that are the problem, right? But not everyone. Definitely not everyone. And I think Tupac said it best when he said, misplaced hate makes disgrace to races. In other words, it disgraces everybody when you blindly hate, any group of people. You shouldn't do that.
Nobody pray for me. It been a day for me. Yeah.
Hey, I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances. Vanessa on them with some counterfeit. Now I'm counting this. Parmesan in my account to live my family.
So this is where he formed the American flag. Okay. This was really interesting.
I'm down in this. Do say with my boo-bay tastes like Kool-Aid for the analyst. Girl, knocking by you, the world will.
It been a day for me. Yeah.
Hey, I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances. Vanessa on them with some counterfeit. Now I'm counting this. Parmesan in my account to live my fact. I'm down in this. Do say with my boo-bay tastes like Kool-Aid for the analyst. Girl, knocking by you, the world with my pay stub. I know it's good when you sit it on my taste buds. I can wait to petty once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block, then I break it down, then we call it Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM funk. Eat up your per diem, you just gotta hate them funk. If I quit your BM, I still ride Mercedes. If I quit the season, I still be the greatest funk.
My left stroke just went viral.
Right stroke, put a baby in the. Be humble, sit down. Be humble, sit down. Be humble, sit down. Be humble.
So be humble, sit down. He could be referring to Rosa Parks right now with that line. Okay, it's possible. So he's saying, be humble, sit down.
Sit down. Hold on.
I got
Royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter, but the war and peace inside my DNA. Got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. That's hustle, though, ambition.
Man, he is just way too good at what he does. Okay, he is a lyrical monster, is what he is, right? And man, I just don't get it. So many people are mad at this because I can't understand what he's talking about. If he did the whole set and just talking plainly without any music or anything, y'all would still complain, right? Oh, we could hear what he was talking about, but it was boring. Well, which one do you want? Right? Do you want him to perform and actually rap and have the flows and the cadence and have it actually sound good? Yes, we definitely want all that stuff, right? So now it's on us to try and decipher and figure out what he was talking about. It's that simple. So I think we're going to go ahead and leave it here for part one. we got to do this in multiple parts. I mean, there's like 10 songs that he goes through like rapid succession, real quick. Okay. I want to get through like all of them, but I also want to give each one enough time, to let it simmer, right? To like, I'm going to be watching the clip a few times. I'm going to be looking at lyric videos and trying to like understand the context of what's in the song. Okay. And man, the last point I want to make before we go ahead and close out the video, okay? This is not racist. He's not bringing race into this at all. This is just talking about society as a whole, okay? And that's it. I mean, that is literally it. We are talking about systemic issues, right? That goes on in society. The way I would classify it now is systemic oppression, to where if you're living in poverty, like, you're going to get it. You are going to get handed a lot of crap, okay, from the system. If you're well off, or if at least you're like mid-tier, you're not going to get hit as hard, right? But if you're living in poverty, you're going to have a harder and harder time of getting anywhere in life. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Like, since we're in terms of playing a game, think about playing Monopoly, right? Think about what happens to anyone who starts to get on the brink, okay, of like going downhill, while everyone else is building houses and hotels and they're succeeding, okay, and you start selling off your houses, right? Like, that's a bad sign. As soon as that happens, you better hope you have some other houses somewhere else that can sustain you long enough to make a comeback. Okay. But the second you sell off all your houses and everyone else, or at least a few other people, has a substantial amount of houses and hotels, guess what? You're done. You are literally done at that point. You have no options left to compete. All right? Like, you may as well turn your cards in and your money and everything and just give it back to the bank and walk away and be done with it. Okay? Because that game ain't going nowhere for you anymore. That's what it's like for people in poverty. That's literally what it's like. As soon as they start going downhill, every step forward from that point on is a struggle. It just is. And that's not saying other people shouldn't be like having their houses and hotels, whatever else. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, people's lives are a lot more valuable and important. Okay. We are a lot more significant than just numbers or pieces on a board. Right? So, alright. That's it for part 1, y'all.